All right, Larry Krueger here at Levi Stadium for the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er update on this Thursday. And of course, check out Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Go say hi to Damon and Mary, get some brisket chili. Tell them that Krug sent you. We're also brought to you by Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, on the Monterey Peninsula. Call my friend Anthony Catania. He's at 831-521-5264. All right, let's talk about the Niners. They were back on the practice field getting ready to take on the Green Bay Packers Sunday at Lambeau. This was a big day today. Now, why do I say that? Well, a couple things. George Kittle practiced. He's going to play. He has stated that he is going to play Sunday at Lambeau against the Packers. Nick Bosa with the hip/oblique and Trent Williams with the ankle did not practice today. And it's going to be interesting to see if either of those guys can go. Now, Trent Williams was not moving well last Friday in the locker room, took a shot, played on Sunday. Typically when guys do that, the injury gets worse. He hasn't practiced this week. I don't know if he's going to go. And if he can't go, Jalen Moore is going to go. I caught up with Moore in the locker room. He says he's ready to roll. If they need him, he's ready to roll. But it could be Jalen Moore time because Trent Williams, my gut tells me that, he took the shot last week to play against Seattle. He played all right. He didn't play great. He played all right. He gutted one out for the team, though. And I just think this week he'll probably try to do the same thing again. But he may not be able to do it 2 weeks in a row. So that's something to look for. Can Trent Williams play? Now, I don't think Nick Bosa is going to play. I'd be very, very shocked if he does. Jonathan Garvin was signed to the practice squad. I think that gives them one extra body. They're going to have to go probably this game and probably the next game as well without Nick Bosa. That would be my guess. No official word yet. He hasn't practiced this week. Now, that would be huge in and of itself if the Niners went into this game with no starting left tackle Trent Williams, no star edge rusher in Nick Bosa. That would be massive. But adding to that, Brock Purdy left practice today with shoulder pain. He did not throw on Wednesday. He was at practice, but he didn't throw. He came out today and threw a little bit, then had some trainers rubbing his shoulder, and then he ran back to the locker room or back to the weight room area and didn't, if he came back out, we didn't see it. And normally he would speak to us today, and they put that off until tomorrow. So I would say there's a very good chance that Brock Purdy doesn't go on Sunday, which is absolutely an amazing development because the Niners said he was experiencing some shoulder soreness, but they didn't made it seem like it wasn't structural. And then he came out Wednesday, didn't throw at all, came out today, threw a little bit, and then was getting a shoulder rubbed down by the trainer and then took off, and we don't know if he may not be able to handle the shoulder pain, whatever pain he has. So it may be Brandon Allen or Josh Dobbs time, and let the debate begin because there's an awful lot of people that want Allen to start and there's an awful lot of people that want Dobbs to start. Kyle Shanahan will make the decision, and he's going to go with Brandon Allen. I can tell you that. That is almost guaranteed. I'd be very shocked if he didn't go with Brandon Allen. He's had Brandon Allen as his number 2 quarterback all year. If it was Purdy was going to miss 5 games, maybe he would go to Dobbs. But Brandon Allen is number 2 on the depth chart, and he's going to Brandon Allen. So Brock Purdy did not throw on Wednesday, came out on Thursday, threw the ball a little bit, obviously experienced some pain, had the trainer rubbing his shoulder down, and then ran off. And we have no idea. He's not going to talk to us today. He'll talk. We were told the quarterback or quarterbacks will talk tomorrow. So what does that mean? That means that we don't really know, who's going to start at quarterback for the 49ers. But get ready because it very well could be Jalen Moore at left tackle. It could be Sam O or Yetur Gross-Matos and Leonard Floyd starting at defensive end. And it could be a Brandon Allen starting for Brock Purdy at quarterback in a must-win game against a very good Green Bay Packer team that has won a lot of close games this year on the road, possibly in snow conditions. So this is going to be a daunting task for the 49ers to go to Lambeau and beat this team. Couple other interesting notes around the or one other interesting note I thought injury-wise. So not only is Brock Purdy maybe out, Nick Bosa could be out, Trent Williams could be out, George Kittle is going to play. On the Packers side today, we got some news out of Green Bay that their rookie linebacker, Edgerrin Cooper, the rookie from Texas A&M, pulled his hamstring in practice, and he is likely out of the game on Sunday. That's a break for the 49ers. Edgerrin Cooper is a terrific young linebacker. He's about 24. He runs like the wind. He's a fantastic blitzer, great foot speed, great instincts. So if they lose Edgerrin Cooper, they're down a guy, and maybe that means the 49ers can have more success in the run game. The 49ers currently have the third worst yards after catch in the NFL. So they're just, they're not, the 49ers are not getting yards after the catch. There's not a lot of speed at wide receiver. There's not a lot of separation. We outlined that earlier in the week. And the 49ers currently have the third worst yards after the catch in the NFL. This is an area where they've led the league the last few years under Kyle Shanahan. This year, they're third worst. They currently have the worst average target separation in the NFL at 3.0, average yards of separation. And that's on throws targeted. And I've had some people send me pictures of, things that, like Kyle Posey, my good buddy from Niners Nation, wrote an article saying he doesn't think that the Niner receivers are not getting separation. It's not that they're not getting separation ever. The stats show they're not getting separation when they're being targeted. So that's the difference. They are getting separation at times, but at times the line's not blocking and not giving Brock time to throw. At times, Brock's not seeing the field. And I thought in this particular game, there were examples where there were guys open down the field and Purdy didn't see them. So typically, I think Brock's vision of the field has been really, really good since he's been here. In the Seattle game, not so much. And I'm eager to ask him when we get a chance to talk to him, maybe as soon as tomorrow, how he would grade himself out in that Seattle game. It wasn't one of his better games, and I felt like there were guys open down the field that he either didn't see or was hesitant to really let it rip. So I'm eager to see what Brock says about, kind of the self-evaluation of his performance against Seattle, how he felt he did in that game, because I thought he left a lot of meat on the bone. I thought his decision-making was not consistent. I thought his vision of the field was, for the first time down the field, it was almost like he didn't see guys open, or if he did, he didn't want to let it rip for whatever reason. So I'd love to hear his perspective after reviewing the film, after having, talking to Kyle, talking to Greasy, going through all the coaching points, what his takeaway was on his individual performance from last week. I'm really interested to know that. One of the things I asked Nick Sorensen about today was, and he, credit to Nick, he's like, hey, I take full responsibility. It wasn't ever a question of whose responsibility it was. The question was, last year the 49ers allowed like 3.7 points in the fourth quarter, which was first in the league. This year they're giving up 8.8 points in the fourth quarter, which is 27th in the league. And if you look at them by quarter, the 49ers are number 4 in the NFL. They're a top 5 defense as far as points allowed in the first quarter. They come out, they do a really good job in the first quarter. But unfortunately, it goes down from there. It's worse than in the second quarter than the first. It's worse in the third quarter than the second. And in the fourth quarter, the 49er defense is giving up what would rank 28th in the league in points allowed in the fourth quarter. And, I basically said, hey, why is your defense so good in the first quarter and just consistently fades? And he didn't really have an answer other than to say, hey, it's my responsibility. I mean, that's the right thing to say, it's my responsibility. It's obviously his responsibility. But, he didn't really offer up any real conclusions as to why. I would say my conclusion is that they're just too thin. They can't affect the quarterback up front because they don't have good enough pass rush, and they've really badly missed Dre Greenlaw. I mean, let's call this for what it is. 3 of the Niners' 5 losses this year the Niners defense has coughed it up in the last 3.5 minutes of the fourth quarter. They're the worst defense, one of the worst defenses in the league in the fourth quarter. They're getting owned by opposing offenses in the fourth quarter. I think it's because they're spending too much time on the field, but the Niners are number 1 in time of possession. So that's not solely it. I think also they're wearing down. I think they're not as deep up front. They're asking Bosa and Floyd to play a higher percentage of snaps than they've played in a long, long time. For Bosa, the highest percentage of snaps he's ever played in his career by 10%. Like the most snaps he's ever played is like 75%. He's playing like 87% of the snaps right now. So that couldn't continue, and now Nick's beat up. I also asked him, about as far as, I think... was there confusion? I asked Nick if there was confusion on the Geno Smith touchdown run, because if you watch the film, I mean, you see Demo and all these guys pointing, and everybody's pointing, and he said, hey, that's just when you're playing fast, that's how guys communicate. He kind of pushed back that there was communication breakdowns or any kind of confusion on that Geno Smith touchdown run. What happened was they lost gap integrity, and when I say that, what I mean is a very, very, very tired Yatir Gross-Matos just got pushed down. He lost gap integrity. It gave Geno a lane. But so what? So he had a lane. You still had second-level defenders there in Devondre Campbell, and Campbell never got anywhere close to him. So to me, it's like D. Winters was the 49ers' highest-graded defensive player last week. He only got 10 snaps. I need to see D. Winters play more snaps this week, for sure. And then I asked Chris Forster, why the Niners have struggled the last couple of weeks running the ball. And, he didn't have anything really to add. He didn't say the defenses were doing anything different. He just said, sometimes, it's a big run is a play away or just, a block away, and they haven't quite been right. But the facts are the facts. And the Niners rush EPA in weeks 1 through 8 was 10th best in the league. Since McCaffrey has come back, their rush EPA is 21st in the league. They're not running it as well since McCaffrey came back to the lineup. So something to watch for sure come Sunday. All right, that does it for our recap video here in Santa Clara. The big story is Brock Purdy did not throw, he did throw, and then he ran off the field in obvious pain. And then his status for Sunday is definitely up in the air. So it very well could be Brandon Allen at quarterback for the 49ers against the Packers Sunday at Lambeau. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corners, Sports Cards, and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.